Welcome to the Mindspo Podcast. My name's Rochelle Fox, and today, my friends, it is publication day. I have literally just got back from my magnetic morning. I hosted a creators event with a whole bunch of my friends here in London, where I am right now, and I am buzzing. I can't even begin to tell you how I feel right now. It's just this electric, excited. I just can't believe that this day has finally come. It's out. Magnetic is out to the world. It is officially published. So today the book came out in the UK. So everyone that pre-ordered has already been getting their copies. I've been getting pictures on Instagram. It's just so crazy to see you with the book. I'm still not used to it. And as well, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but we got over 9 translation deals for Magnetic all around the world, which means my words are going to be translated in different languages. And one of those languages is none other than Dutch. So today, the Dutch edition of Magnetic also went live. So people all over the Netherlands have been getting their copy. I've got mine right here as well. And wow, I'm just so happy this day is here. It's one of those projects. A book is a marathon, not a sprint. And it feels so weird that it is finally out in the world, but it also feels so exciting because although this is the end of my writing journey for this particular book, it feels like the beginning of the actual journey for the work. I cannot wait to go and teach and connect with readers. I cannot wait to speak on stages and just share this work in person with people. Having my creators event this morning, I had some really old friends there. So I had Chessie King there, who is an influencer and creator from the UK. She's incredible. I had her sister and my friend Bronte King there. I had my bestie Megan Rose Lane, as well as Bethany Moore. I had Francesca Amber there this morning as well, who is an incredible law of attraction podcaster. And I actually just did an interview for her podcast just the other day. And so many other creators, so many other people. And it's just wild to finally be able to start teaching and talking about all of the concepts that I've been so deep in my cocoon brewing and working on over the last 18 months that I've been writing Magnetic. So I'm on a high today, and because of this high and this energy, and because this book is out in the world, I thought it would be so beautiful to actually share the introduction, the audiobook introduction to Magnetic here on the podcast. So not only is the book out as a hardcover copy that you can order now, but it is also out as an audiobook. So you'll be able to find it on Spotify and also on Audible if you're an audiobook person. So I'm going to have all the links to that down in the show notes. And wow, I get to finally share what I've been working on, just a slice of what I've been working on with you. And I really hope that you enjoy today's episode. And I want to say actually that one thing that was just so beautiful about the creator event that I did today was I actually took them through my brand new manifestation formula. So a lot of this book that I've written, I haven't shared. These are things that I've been working on in private that I haven't put out on the podcast and not in my other courses. And I have this brand new manifestation formula, and I took everyone through this in-person workshop, going through all of the elements of the manifestation formula live today. And actually seeing this whole entire book in practice and seeing it come to life has just made me so excited for you, my readers and community, to get into this book and start to bring it to life in your own life. Because I could even just see from today, from before the event started to the end of the event, just the shift that I saw in the group of women that joined me and the downloads and the feelings they were having and the ahas. It was just, it was so exciting. So enough said, I'm going to play you the audiobook introduction to Magnetic now. And if you're listening to this after publication day, then the book is out. It is out in the world. It's coming out actually in the US if you're listening later. So in October, that's when the book's going to be publishing in the US. And we've got a translation deal in Germany. We have a translation deal in Arabic. It's so exciting. And I cannot wait to just have you experience what Magnetic is and hear more about your magnetic story and what this book does for you on your own unique journey of life. That is it from me today. As you can tell, I'm probably a bit of a rambling, hysterical mess. I'm on such a high. So here you go. Enjoy the introduction to Magnetic. Introduction. Not everyone gets what they desire. Not everyone knows the secrets of the subconscious mind. Imagine spending your whole life thinking you were powerless, only to realize you were the mastermind all along. What would be possible for you if you left behind your perceived limitations and unlocked your true potential? How would your life transform? Who could you become? The truth is, you can be whoever you will yourself to be. Despite what you've been told or what you believe, you are not stuck, broken, or forever weighed down by the baggage of your past. You are, and have always been, magnetic and powerful beyond words. But maybe you don't believe that just yet. You might not know it, but you are already worthy and capable of fulfilling the desires of your heart. Because if something is both on your heart and on your mind, it's there for a reason. Your dreams are not silly or meaningless thoughts. They are previews of timelines available to you, potentials and possibilities waiting for you to embody and align with your elevated future self. The question is, how do you get there? How do you move from where you are and to where you wish to be? This book will give you the answers you seek. The Conscious and Subconscious Minds. According to Harvard professor Gerald Zeltman, 95% of all behaviors, decisions, and thoughts occur unconsciously, driven by programs below our conscious awareness, while only 5% of our mental activity is conscious. Although the sub in subconscious can make it sound less significant, this part of you, in truth, holds the keys to unlocking your magnetic powers within. In life, you don't achieve what you consciously want. You align with what you subconsciously believe. In other words, what you believe in your subconscious mind is what you will become. Is this you? Do you see others less talented than you getting what you want? Do you feel like you're destined for more but don't know how to achieve it? Have you heard about the power of the subconscious mind but you're not sure how it works? Does the idea of manifesting sound delusional because it hasn't worked for you yet? Does your life feel limited, monotonous, or uninspired? Do you find yourself overthinking, worrying, and believing the negative voice in your head? Do you have dreams that reach up for the sky but feel blocked by fears that are holding you back? Are you calling in more, ready for change, trying to find the next step? If any of this sounds familiar, let me reassure you, you are not alone. I've been there. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rochelle, and I'm a meditation and personal growth teacher. Through the teachings I will share in this audiobook, I've been able to transform myself from someone who identified as a mentally messed up girl with PTSD, battling depression, crippling anxiety, and an eating disorder, to a woman who is no longer just surviving, but truly thriving. Over the past decade, I've been devoted to passing on the wisdom and tools that have pulled me out of my own darkness. Through my company Mindspo's programs, app, and retreats, I have guided thousands of people to find their light and unlock the power of their mind. One thing I want you to know about me is that I'm a cheerleader for other people's success. I genuinely want you to win at life, and I'm here to help you do just that. Together in this book, we will unlock the secrets of your subconscious mind. What you will learn from this book: what the subconscious mind is, and how you can reprogram it to create the desired results that you want out of life. an understanding of the universal laws that will transform how you see reality. A simple 4-part manifestation process that you can apply to your life. A no-fluff meditation masterclass that will teach you how to clear the head noise, unlock inner peace, and tap into living life with magnetic presence. The exact mindsets you need to set yourself up to win at life. The power of identity and how to create a vision board movie to propel you towards a better, more aligned, and intentional future. Practical, everyday ways to use your magnetic mind to attract love, money, health, happiness, and success in your life. A deep understanding of what is keeping you stuck where you are, and a toolkit of practical steps, insights, and wisdom to help you get unstuck. There is already an abundance of audiobooks available on personal growth, manifesting, and turning your dreams into reality. Yet, most of them miss the much-needed details to help you understand the source code of creation, also known as your subconscious mind. You have the wisdom within you to solve all of your problems and be your own hero, and to empower yourself to make lasting changes. I believe that you are the one you've been looking for, and this audiobook is designed to help you know yourself, and from that awareness, create the person you wish to become. As you take the teachings from this book and apply them to your life, challenge yourself to shift your identity from someone who is trying to manifest, and instead step into becoming a fully embodied manifester. Consider these words as the map pointing the way to your life's highest unfolding. The exact path you take is for you to decide. You are the creator. You are magnetic. My magnetic story. I wish I could tell you that my spiritual awakening was some kind of eat, pray, love adventure, but the reality was far from it. I didn't meet God in an Indian ashram. There was no pasta in Italy, and there was definitely no hot holiday love affair with a guy in Bali. It was a lot more basic than that. And the truth is, most wake-up calls are basic, despite what our favorite movies portray. Instead, my spiritual awakening happened on my boyfriend's 3-seater love sack beanbag, which was also his prime weed smoking spot that I had reclaimed as my new place to zone out and stare at the wall. Looking back, if you told me that that giant fluffy beanbag, which took up most of our 25 square meter studio apartment, would become the place where I would tap into my magnetic powers, I would have thought you were as stoned as he used to be. The year was 2012, and I was running out of options to fix myself. The meds I got from the doctor reacted badly to a natural supplement I was taking and sent me into a psychotic episode, which almost saw me jump out of our 3rd-story apartment window in Sydney's King's Cross. Speaking with my cognitive behavioral therapist wasn't helping either, as we painfully traversed the depths of my complex traumatic past. Not to mention the mushrooms that I had researched as a holistic treatment and ordered to microdose from the dark web never arrived, and my daily night terrors and weekly panic attacks showed no sign of letting up. Oh, and to top it all off, my binge eating had turned into full-blown bulimia, so staring into my porcelain reflection became a daily ritual. During the day, I would distract myself with social media, TV, and movies, and at night, it was candy, ice cream, chocolate, and any other pleasure-stimulating, sugar-laden food that would satisfy my binge and purge cycle. I was, by my own definition, messed up. I had tried everything up until this point with no breakthrough. And while being diagnosed by my therapist with post-traumatic stress disorder had given me some kind of hope now that I could define my troubles, The label PTSD was becoming increasingly heavy to bear. One night, my boyfriend Chris came home with yet another remedy to explore. One I would have never expected to hear from a devout rationalist and atheist as such as him. Meditation. Meditation, I said, with a clear tone of doubt in my voice. At the time, like most people, I was convinced meditation was some woo-woo hippie thing, and I was wondering if his cannabis habit had finally gotten to his head. Surely the answers to my troubles wasn't going to be found in what I thought at the time was some fringe Eastern ritual. I dismissed the idea and tried to change the subject, but he was persistent and explained that the idea was not his, but had come from our mutual friend Julian. Chris had spent some time with him that day, and sharing the latest news of our struggles, Julian suggested it was an avenue after hearing that soldiers were using it to overcome suicidal thoughts from combat-related PTSD. Knowing the source of the suggestion, my interest piqued because Julian is one of those people who is wise beyond his years, and the guy's advice is always worth listening to. So, I suspended my skepticism and decided to look into it. A few days later, after yet another binge and purge cycle, I found myself once again on the beanbag, about to zone out with some YouTube videos. In that moment, I thought, fuck it, let's explore that meditation thing. So I typed in something along the lines of meditation for PTSD, Army, into the search bar. It was then I found a video that would change the course of my life forever. The clip featured a huge American Army soldier who was speaking at some kind of function about, you guessed it, meditation. The guy looked like the last person I would have ever considered to be someone who meditates. He was tall, broad, and decorated with an array of Army medals. In the video, he spoke about how he'd lost his friend and brother-in-arms to suicide after they had returned home from combat. The pain in his voice cut through me, because suicide was something I'd planned many times myself, and the last thing anyone suicidal wants to hear is the reality of how a decision like that affects the people you leave behind. He then shared how he also wanted to end his own life. That is, until he found, meditation. I was so moved by this man's courage, vulnerability, and strength. Not because he had been to war or because he was an absolute unit, but because he was speaking about his mental health and inner demons, which were also my inner demons, in such a public and unfiltered way. I remember thinking, if it can work for this guy, then maybe it could work for me too. I decided then and there to give it a shot. If I was down to buy psychedelic mushrooms on the internet, I was down to try anything. Not long after discovering that video, I found a reputable meditation studio in Sydney and signed up for a 3-day course. It was here I was given my mantra, which I was told was a mind sound, and that it would be my vehicle to practice meditation and ultimately my path to inner peace. The whole thing seemed so weird and very much out of my comfort zone. My mind was skeptical and full of self-sabotage, but I had a glimmer of hope. A few weeks later, there I was again, sitting on the beanbag with eyes closed, but this time repeating my mantra inside my head. And then, out of nowhere, there was a moment of silence. A still, serene sensation inside my mind that felt unlike anything I'd experienced before. It held for a few moments, and then came a voice. But not the usual voice that was tearing me down. A wiser, more intelligent voice. A voice that didn't use words. It was more like a knowing, a sense of awareness, a realization that I am not my thoughts. Thoughts are just things. And just because I think something doesn't make it true. Wait, am I thinking again? What does that even mean? Who or what was that? Back to the mantra. Wait, fuck the mantra. I'm onto something here. If I can watch my thoughts, then who is watching? If I can observe the voice inside my head, then it means I'm not the voice inside my head. In an instant, the spell was broken. I was beyond my thoughts. From that meditation on, life was never the same again. I continued my practice, and little by little, big changes started to happen. The anxiety, depression, night terrors, and panic attacks that had plagued my life for years began to fade away, giving way to a new way of being. I started to live rather than just exist. The unconscious emotional chain reactions and overthinking that used to make up my everyday experience were now out in the light for my awareness to observe. I started noticing a gap, a small delay between my thoughts and my emotions, and finally, the actions I would take. Though my mind was still receiving thoughts all day long, I didn't have to take them all so seriously. I could choose which thoughts to accept and which ones I could simply allow to pass by. With this greater awareness came new choices. I chose curiosity over judgment, love over fear, optimism over pessimism, and expansion over contraction. My mind opened, and I began to devour personal development books, documentaries, and material about the mind. I was so awestruck by my mental transformation that I wanted to discover what else I did not yet know. Could it be that we are all so much more powerful than we realize? That we're not just victims of randomness, but that the mind is magnetic. And by directing our thoughts, we could in fact create our reality. Whilst down the rabbit hole, the topic of manifestation kept popping up. The concept that thoughts could become things and that our outer world reflects the world within. Fast forward a couple of years, I vividly remember my desire to work in the health and wellness industry. At the time, one of my career paths was DJing at clubs, which, although fun, was starting to feel out of alignment. Knowing the power of my magnetic mind, I constructed a vision board that reflected my elevated self. My collage of magazine cutouts featured yogis, conscious brands, and a centered image of someone who I felt successfully bridged the world of entertainment and wellness. Oprah Winfrey. Soon after, an email landed in my inbox, entitled An Evening with Oprah. I was expecting it to be some kind of promotional email for Oprah's upcoming Australia tour, but boy, was I wrong. As I was reading, I realized it was a request for a quote to perform at a private VIP meet and greet with Oprah in Melbourne. The ideas I implanted in my magnetic mind had literally come to life in the most epic yet strangely unexplainable way. A few weeks later, I flew to Melbourne for the event. I was so excited to be there and perform, but initially, I was having one of my low days that day. I was caught up in my thoughts, trapped in a cycle of blaming everything and everyone other than myself for my internal struggles. Despite all of my progress, on some days my inner critic still got the better of me. Healing, after all, is not always a linear process. While my life looked amazing from the outside, internally there was still subconscious work to be done. I went through days when I felt confident and ready to conquer the world, but there were also days where past traumas resurfaced and things got shaky. On those tough days, I would rather wallow in self-pity or make myself so busy that I didn't have time to feel. If a feeling did come up, I would project my frustration and pain onto others, blaming my boyfriend, my friends, and the people from my past for my problems. I saw myself as a puppet with my strings being pulled, as if I was stuck in a loop. Little did I know that that day of Oprah's event would be the last day I'd be trapped in what I now recognize as the vicious cycle of unconscious victim mentality. That evening, Oprah gave a private speech. I remember standing meters away from her behind the DJ decks as she said something that changed my perspective on life forever. You are responsible for the energy that you bring into the room. The penny dropped. We all have the personal power to direct our energy, and we all have the ability to attract and repel people, places, and things like a magnet. We aren't victims of our past. Rather, we are the conscious creators of our future, both in positive and negative ways. We can choose what energy we bring into any experience, and that choice is always made in the present moment, because the now is all we ever have. This wake-up call led me on a mission to uncover the power of the subconscious mind, the place where our unconscious mental programs are installed, the stories and patterns that are responsible for everything we see on the manifested surface of our lives. Sharing this realization that we are each far more powerful than we know has become part of my mission. And it's my hope that we can all use this knowledge to propel ourselves towards a better, more aligned, and more conscious future. When you become aware of your own subconscious programs, you can edit the source code that is creating your reality, and with that, create the life of your dreams. What is the magnetic mind? The magnetic mind is your mind. It is the creative force of human consciousness that already resides within you. Every invention you can imagine began as a thought in the mind of someone just like you. Someone with a dream, an idea, or a spark of inspiration that prompted them to ask, what if? The magnetic mind is where the what-ifs live before they are born into what is. Thought is the ultimate creative force capable of transforming the world and turning the invisible into the visible. The clothes on your body, the audio you are listening to, the music you move to, and the structures you live in. The magnetic mind has achieved incredible feats, from mastering human flight to curing diseases. It has built cities that reach beyond the clouds, carved marvelous sculptures from stone, and invented digital telepathy in the form of our devices. The mind that created all of this is the same mind that resides inside of you. This power is available to you and can be harnessed to design and construct whatever you wish. Your mind isn't passive. Its powers are always on the go and directing you, whether consciously or subconsciously. Your magnetic mind pulls towards itself that which your awareness focuses on. But just as a magnet has two poles, it can also repel with equal intensity. To use your magnetic mind to create more of what you wish and less of what you don't, you need to understand how it works, particularly the relationship between the conscious and subconscious mind. You are whole, powerful, and limitless, just the way you are. However, you may not have fully realized the power of your magnetic mind. The good news is that you already have all that it takes to awaken the power within you. And this audiobook will show you how. I really hope you enjoyed that audiobook introduction to magnetic. If you would like to listen to the full entire audiobook and download this book into your consciousness, then I have all the links down below to be able to purchase the audiobook, listen to the audiobook, or get your very own hard copy. I am so excited to see where you go on your own magnetic journey, and I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me for this episode. You can discover more from Mindspo on Instagram and TikTok by following @Mindspo and myself @Rochelle_Fox. If this episode inspired you, then please pass it on and share the love. And lastly, always remember, you create your own reality. So go and make some magic.